It's 8:11 today. President Biden and members of his administration, including New Orleans' own Cedric Richmond, will be visiting Louisiana following Hurricane Ida. One of the big questions the president will face is, where is all the help from FEMA? We have long lines at gas stations and the food supply is scarce. Water's in short supply. People need ice and places to stay. Yesterday, I had a frank discussion with Richmond, who is the White House senior advisor, about the federal response. And as we said, many people are asking, where is FEMA with gasoline, generators, food, and other supplies so desperately needed here?
Eric, we actually did have it staged. And so we had over 4.4 million meals staged. We had over 3.6 million liters of water staged. We had ice staged. And even today, I've spent all morning making sure that we are increasing the amount of ice that we're sending down. And ice has shifted over to a local responsibility, but we're not worrying about that. The fact that there's a need, we're getting it done. And so we did all of those things. The massive area of no power or lack of power is a problem. And let me just tell you what I think the difference is between this administration and others that have faced storms. We're not waiting to do things. And so you heard the president call out insurance companies that are denying temporary housing assistance because it wasn't a mandatory evacuation. He said that it's an obligation. Don't hide behind a technicality.
Is there anything the president can do about that?
Well, let's see how they respond to that. We brought all the cell phone companies together to ask them to utilize each other's networks where they could, if one had service and the other one didn't, to make sure that we get that done. We have brought in mobile communication vehicles. We talked personally, the president did, to the energy CEO to make sure that he understood that we would give him whatever he needed to get it back going, but also to push him to understand how important it was to get power on. Because if you look at those long lines at the gas station, it's because a lot of gas stations don't have power. And so even those that still have gas in their tanks, they can't get it out because they don't have power.
The infrastructure bill that you guys, have gotten through Congress is important. And one of the things we had talked about is the electrical grid. It's owned by a private company, but it's part of the national importance. And right here, we had a massive failure of an electrical grid in the metro area.
Yeah, we had 8 down transmission lines. And that's one of the things that's in the infrastructure bill. It's privately owned, but it's critical infrastructure to this country. And we want to make sure that we are providing funds out there to harden that infrastructure. So one, it can survive natural disasters, but 2, that it could survive cyber attacks and other things that we know hopefully will never come, but we need to be prepared.
The people who fought this bill, you're saying, look, you're fighting against stuff that's important to America.
That's exactly right. And notice, the president came up with Build Back Better in this infrastructure plan over a year ago. We know these things are going to happen. We know climate change is real. We know that these 1,000-year storms are now coming every other year. They're bigger, they're more frequent, and we have to be prepared for it. And that's a lot of the impetus around the infrastructure bill. But we also put billions of dollars in there for resiliency too. So imagine the West Shore project that we're building to protect St. John, St. James, St. Charles. And that's a levee system that is designed to protect them, just like we protected the New Orleans metropolitan area. So we are investing in our communities to protect them. And we're asking people to put the partisanship aside. Let's just get it done.
And when I asked Richmond about the staging, he said they had staged 250 generators. And I said, that's just a fraction of what was needed here.
Right.
We need thousands and thousands to run gas stations, food stores, get things up and running.
Certainly. All right, well, it's glad you got to talk to him and get some of those answers.